Folks, let me tell you something. I've had enough of buffets. Holy cow, like here in Brazil, every single place that offers food is pretty much a buffet. And I've had 4 buffet meals in a row. And then last night I decided to go for a non-buffet option, and it was absolutely terrible. And of course, this morning's breakfast, buffet from the hotel again. I have had enough. I think it's time for me to have some good meals that are not buffets. And for that, I have to go to a different country. Alright folks, it's another beautiful day, but I'm running out of options here in Iguaçu, and that's why conveniently right across the Parana River there is another place. Oh well, another city. Actually, in another country. So today we'll be going to Ciudad del Este in Paraguay, and it's the second largest city in the whole country. And to be honest, visiting this city is not really part of my plan, and I've heard a lot of interesting things about this city. Like it's one of the largest black markets of contrabands of electronics, pretty much, if not in the Americas, but definitely in the world. And so as for the security situation, I'm not really sure.
Yep, this is the kind of reputation Ciudad del Este has. If you remember the Canadian government's warning I shared in one of the previous episodes, travelers were advised to avoid the Brazilian-Paraguayan border. Although, my hotel was literally right next to it.
Comes the Parana River, and it's Paraguay.
At the same time, I also saw a lot of advertisements about Ciudad del Este in Iguaçu, almost everywhere across the city. If Ciudad del Este is really that bad, are they tricking people into visiting the biggest crime den you could ever imagine? The only way to find out is by going there. Although the main purpose of my trip was simply eating something that was not buffet.
And I even heard that the security guards for shopping malls over there, they have huge shotguns. Yeah, so I'm not even sure about the security situation over there, but since I don't really want to eat any more buffets, and it happens to be right across the river, I'll just go take a look. To avoid all the hassles, I'll pretty much keep it simple. I'm not going to bring any of my filming equipments, so I'm going to leave my camera, my GoPro. Yes, the device I'm recording on right now. In a hotel room, I'll just be bringing my documents, my passport, and a cell phone, and my wallet with some US dollars, because I heard they use US dollars over there. So just in case, if the worst ever happens, well, I'm gonna keep my loss at the minimum.
To reach Ciudad del Este, you need to first reach Ponte da Amizade, the friendship bridge. You can easily call an Uber while in Iguaçu, or you can be like me by taking the city bus from the local bus station. The bus routes are clearly marked, and if you're not sure, just ask. Chances are you won't be the only person taking this bus.
Well, it appears everybody's going to Paraguay.
Once on the bus, you can either rely on your phone's GPS or just follow the crowd if there is one. The area around the Friendship Bridge is a very bustling commercial district, even more so than the seemingly abandoned city center.
I was wondering where all the people are. Holy cow, they're all at the Friendship Bridge.
Crossing the border into Paraguay from Iguaçu can be tricky for foreign tourists. For locals, you can just cross into Paraguay without the need to stop. For foreign visitors in Brazil, by law, you must have yourself stamped out by the Brazilian Federal Police at the border, as shown on signs close to the pedestrian crossing's entry point. The office for stamping should be on your left once you walk past the checkpoint booth area. After getting your Brazil exit stamp, you can join back the stream of pedestrians, and then you'll find yourself on the Friendship Bridge. The bridge was very busy, and it appeared that no one ever made a stop for selfies or photos. Everyone was in a hurry to go to Paraguay. If you do look down, you'll find yourself right above the Parana River. which marks the border between the two countries.
Yeah, folks, we made it to the other side of the bridge. Welcome to Paraguay.
Once you're on the other side of the Parana River, bienvenidos a Paraguay. To ensure that you enter the country 100% legally and avoid any potential issues when going back to Brazil later on, you need to visit the Paraguayan border office and complete your entry procedures. If all goes well, you exit the office and you'll find yourself right in the city center of Ciudad del Este, Paraguay's second largest city. You'll immediately see lots of vendors and people before you even enter any of the shopping centers, which was shocking to me considering that the city of Foz do Iguaçu, where I just came from, appeared to be abandoned for most of the time. Well, first thing first, I saw the Monalisa shopping center that appeared on those big billboards in Foz do Iguaçu. Let's go in and take a look.
Right now I'm inside a shopping mall, and holy cow, this shopping mall looks fancier than many of the shopping malls in North America.
Some folks might say, well, we've seen it all. The stuff they sell in this shopping mall might be fake. Why out of everywhere in the world, you are going to find premium and luxury goods in a city with such a reputation in the middle of a South American jungle? Out of curiosity, I did some research on my own, and the result was rather shocking. Let's use Cartier, a luxury goods brand that appeared in this footage, as an example. I searched the list of authorized dealers on Cartier's official website, and guess what? There are 2 authorized dealers in Ciudad del Este, inside the very shopping mall where this footage was shot from, Monalisa. Meanwhile, it appears that many cities in America, like Indianapolis or Jackson, Mississippi, don't even have authorized Cartier dealers. Now, let's talk about why. Paraguay, being a landlocked country today, does not have any access to the sea or have any seaports. This means that commercial goods from or to Paraguay cannot be exported or imported directly to many parts of the world without the need to go through a third country. During the 1950s, the government of Paraguay figured that if there was no way to change this fact, it was time to get creative. Then, they created a free trade zone in the then less developed East and named the new place after the country's dictator president at the time, which then got changed to Ciudad del Este, the city of the East, in 1989. Today, that city has evolved into the most populous urban area in the Triple Frontier region, even more so than Foz do Iguaçu. Did the creation of Ciudad del Este help boosting the exporting of Paraguayan products and making importing things easier? That, I'm not so sure. But one thing for sure is that the creation of this free trade zone made Ciudad del Este a very popular shopping destination, especially for folks from nearby Brazil. Some of the Brazilian shoppers travel hundreds of kilometers to Ciudad del Este just to shop. Notably electronics, as the savings could easily surpass the cost of traveling. When products are tax-free, the savings could be significant, especially for higher price items like electronics, which everybody uses nowadays, or, well, things like Cartier, which not everybody can afford. Plus, as shown earlier, technically Brazilians don't really have to even stop at the border checkpoint for most of the time. So, if traveling between Brazil and Paraguay is hassle-free and the savings can be huge, going to Ciudad del Este for shopping would be a pretty damn good option. Sure, why not? Let's do it!
Yeah, this city is just endless shopping. The only problem is, I only have $12.
However, the loose border rules and Ciudad del Este's free trade zone status made it prone to a huge problem: smuggling. An easy border doesn't mean that you can bring goods as much as you want. Sometimes people, or even gangs, would bring back to Brazil excessive amount of goods that certainly exceed the duty-free allowance. Some are for personal use, some are for selling for profits. Also, like every other place you can imagine with loose border controls, it also makes transportation of illegal goods like restricted firearms, counterfeits, and drugs much easier. This is how Ciudad del Este earned the title Contraband Capital of South America. And participants of smuggling are not only limited to people who wanted some savings of their hard-earned money, but very often, criminal organizations are also involved. So far, everything in Ciudad del Este I had seen by that point were shopping malls and vendors. Just when I was planning to film more shopping centers, I noticed that some of the security guards who were holding big shotguns were staring at me. I realized that their eyes were always following me as long as I was in their views. Did I film anything that I wasn't supposed to? Maybe it was time to move on and see what else Ciudad del Este has.
Yeah, we're just gonna take a break from all the shopping centers. And so far I can tell you about my first impression of Ciudad del Este is, wow. Actually, I like the city quite a lot. I mean, in comparison, I think Iguaçu is the weird one. This city is just bustling, it's busy, and there are people everywhere. I mean, if it's really that dangerous, I don't think people would come here to do some shopping.
I mean, as a tourist, Ciudad del Este felt safe overall, more so than Iguaçu. Unless, well, you do something stupid. Maybe like me shooting videos in places that I wasn't supposed to. As soon as I moved out of the shopping area, just a few blocks away, it became all quiet down. No more crowds or scary guards with shotguns staring at you. I felt like I was in a totally different city.
The interesting thing is, once you go into the local residential area, all the shops have their prices marked in Guarani, so that's the local currency. Whereas if you go into the shopping centers, everything is listed in US dollars.
Most of the things outside of the shopping area I saw were just typical scenes you would imagine from any other cities in Latin America. There weren't really that many unique attractions. Then I noticed something rather unusual. Something that I wasn't expecting to see in this part of the world.
I'm right now at the Parque Chiang Kai-shek. So this park is dedicated to Generalissimo Chiang Kai-shek, and he was the president of Republic of China and later the president of Taiwan. So Paraguay, as of right now, happens to be one of the few countries that recognizes Taiwan as the only legal representative of China. Well, the thing about this park is it appears to be very abandoned, as you can see. Well, there are just two folks sitting by the statue of, that must be Chiang Kai-shek. And now it kind of reminds me of Iguaçu. The whole place just looks very abandoned.
While Chiang Kai-shek remains a controversial figure in both China and Taiwan, where you might not see his statue in a park nowadays. At least, the Generalissimo found peace on the other side of the world where he still stood. And probably no one cares. Okay, now there appears to be only one thing left, the main purpose of this trip. Thanks to the inspiration of the Generalissimo, I found a Taiwanese restaurant and ordered myself a bubble tea and beef noodles. Gosh, exactly what I needed. It was a busy restaurant and I happened to share a table with two Brazilians. Maybe they also had enough of buffets in their country? They told me that the best thing to see in Ciudad del Este is an impressive waterfall called Saltos de Monalisa. It's located south of the city center. and I need to catch a bus or taxi to reach there. Oh well, no tengo más dinero. After paying for the meal, I didn't have much money left. If I took the bus and see the waterfall, I'd have to walk all the way back from there to my hotel in Foz do Iguaçu. Enough said, let's head back to Brazil. On the way back, you'll need to follow similar steps. First, heading to the Paraguayan border office to obtain the exit stamp on your passport. And then once you're on the other side of the Friendship Bridge, go back to the same building where you obtained your Brazil exit stamp to get yourself entering Brazil legally.
Oh yeah, we're on our way back to Brazil.
Once you're in Brazil, don't forget to check out the viewpoint on your right where you'll see the skyline of Ciudad del Este together with the Friendship Bridge. Then I headed to where I got off the bus and caught the one going to the bus station in the city center. You think the day is over? Well, think again. Because my lunch in Paraguay interrupted my buffet eating streak. So I went to a churrascaria, another Brazilian barbecue house. I mean, it was my last dinner before heading back to Canada. Might as well have one last hurrah before who knows when the next time will be. It couldn't possibly go wrong, right?
Yeah, amigos, it's me again. Oh, just came back from the Brazilian barbecue. So full, I just feel so bad. I hate buffet. I'll probably be a vegetarian for a month. Wait, tomorrow hotel breakfast. I just can't wait to go back. Hopefully it's not the same in Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, or Salvador. The same thing. If seriously everywhere, every single restaurant is a buffet restaurant in Brazil, I think I'll probably just cancel our Brazil adventures in advance. Oh my god. So stay tuned. Sayu Rinpoche, not in Brazil. Oh well, I had a very bad nightmare about buffet last night. And this morning I still feel very, very full. So I went down to the hotel breakfast room and just grabbed a coffee and some fruits. And yeah, well, that's it. I am ready to go to the airport. Now come to think of that joke. Name the 5 greatest Brazilians in history. Silva, 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 and da Silva. Now I can tell you what are the 5 best restaurants here I had during my 4-day stay in Brazil. It's buffet, 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 and buffet. Actually, at a time like this, I can't help but wonder, what would Jimmy Buffett do?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go when the volcano blows. Now I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go when the volcano blows. But I don't wanna land in New York City. Don't wanna land in